Welcome all, one and all, to the Race Spec PS Pacific Tier 1 Saturday Endurance Tier Round 7 at Baku in Azerbaijan. A 6-kilometer high-speed, tight, narrow street circuit with 2 DRS zones, so hopefully we'll see plenty of overtaking around here. It's going to be 51 laps of this 100% race, and with me today through those 51 laps, I have Mr. Tent-Sandles. How are you doing, Tent?
I am doing fantastic. Got a street circuit tonight here at Baku. I'm just keen as always to see how the boys go. Should be great.
You ready with those Super Dupers tonight? You pumped up with Super Dupers?
Of course, always gotta try and keep that blood sugar up, keep that energy up.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's take you down to the track and see what's happening in here. Currently no cars out yet, probably just having a little squeeze at the weathers, getting in their setups out. Yeah, high speed, that's the name of the game, and also heroes or zeros through the castle section. We'll be keeping a close eye through that section.
Yeah. We got some in the comment sections already saying it's dry.
Dry. Okay, no drama with the weather then, as we see a couple of cars coming out on the soft tyres. The first car on track of Noah in the Ferrari. Haven't seen him for a little while. Who else have we got reserving today? 16 drivers on the grid.
We've got reserving today CVF Chip, so he's come back. I believe he was racing at the start of the season. No?
Yeah, sorry, I was just sort of Noah just tapped the wall there with his rear tyre.
Yeah, and yeah, he's reserving for the Red Bull, and then we also got Drax, who's also returning back, and he is reserving for Williams.
Alrighty, then we'll have a call of that. Hey Kyle, how are you going? Good to see you. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I hope you're looking forward to tonight as we get a lovely shot coming up through the castle section there. And today, this week, our driver interviewee is going to be Trikid a little bit later. We're going to be having a chat to him and following him through this Baku race, and he is a street circuit man, so I'm keen to see how he goes today. Hey Ferrari Pro, how are you doing? And you know, me and Tent both love our Ferraris here, so as Noah's just winding up and finishing off his outlap, I'm gonna let you take us around a lap at this 6-kilometer Baku street circuit on board with the Ferrari of Noah.
Alrighty then. Well, we're just coming across the start-finish line here in a second. Now, first couple corners are just solid right-handers, aren't they? So it's very tricky to take, but you can take tons of curb and should see him go. Ooh, doesn't really apex very well, but uses all of that outside curb, which is great. Now we've got a tight corner here as well. Don't want to touch the outside wall. Very nicely done. No rear end slip there either. Another long DRS straight here. Should see some overtaking down here, which will be awesome to see. Got to use all that as well. Yes, using every width of the track that he is allowed to use. Another small straight. Also potential overtaking opportunities sometimes here. A very tricky part here, don't want to touch that curb because it can unstable the car and you will lose the rear end pretty easily. Now, we are coming up to the infamous castle section. Hero, or you're going to lose it here. Let's see how he goes. He takes it very nice. Look at that. Gets as close to those walls as possible without touching them. This lap's looking very clean at the moment and he hasn't lost it at all yet. Now we're coming into another corner. You can take this inside curb. Some people do, some people don't, and he doesn't take it. When you do take it, it kind of launches the car and you almost got to catch it. Another corner which you don't want to touch the curb. And then we're coming along onto these final couple corners. Super easy to lose it in the rear end here when your tyre wear is getting rather high. So holding it tight around that as well. But the lap looks pretty clean.
Yeah, I think that's a drinking game for curb, I think, today. Because that was a good feature out of the curb. That's a 138.7 first lap. And that's pretty strong, I would say, actually.
Yeah.
Still the fault there, popping a 140.2 in. A couple of guys out in the medium tyres. And guys in the chat wishing each other good luck. Don't you love to see that? That's great. And Ferrari Pro saying he is going to be you know, holding the flag for Ferrari. So love that. Yeah, a couple of guys in the medium tyre. The strategy, the soft tyre doesn't last too long at this circuit. You thought maybe it's a one-stop medium hard, obviously barring any safety car shenanigans. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the guys choose to do with their tyre choices.
Yeah, it is a bit difficult to say. Maybe you try and start on those mediums and expect an early safety car and just gain tons of gain track position, or start on those softs and try and really outpace those medium guys.
Seeing a lot of yellow flags in Sector 1. I think it's just coming out of the pits and just letting other cars go through there. But we'll just keep an eye on Drax throughout this lap. He's just on the medium tyre at the moment, as we see already the medium tyre is sort of splitting up a lot of the soft runners. Some good laps out there by Jays, for example, on that medium tyre, quite competitive there in amongst the soft runners. So that's good to see, as all the cars now coming out onto the track, and it's going to get pretty busy around here. Pretty easy to avoid other cars on the straights, but yeah, you don't want to get caught up with any traffic in some of the twistier sections around this track here.
Yeah, for sure. It's obviously up to the boys who aren't on their laps to make sure that they get out of the way and
oh, that's the wall there from Drax, and he's given up that lap. I'd not be surprised if he took any damage from that, clouting it pretty hard. The wing looks intact, but he's given up on that lap, and it does coming up with the pit damage symbol, so wouldn't be surprised as Trikid's just coming into the pits now, and I think this is as good a time as any to bring him into our comms box and say how high are you, and how are you doing, Trikid?
I am doing very good, thank you, and good evening, everyone. It's good to be here on stream. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Not a problem. We'd love to have people on here, have a little chat and learn about them, and a lot of our viewers also the same. You get a lot of feedback about. It's interesting to hear about all the other drivers on the grid. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been racing in Race Spec, and where are you racing at?
So I've been racing in Race Spec since the end of Season 2. So I've been here for a while, probably not as long as some others, but definitely longer than most. Yes. And yeah, this season is, I guess my third season. I missed my fourth season. I missed Season 5.
And you race in which tiers?
I'm racing in PS Pacific Tier 2 and Saturday's Endurance Tier 1.
Of course, I know that you're racing in Tier 2 because I also race in that tier. And just tell us a little bit about your setup.
Yeah, so I'm running the Logitech G29 with standard pedals on a Next Level Racing F1 seat setup.
Another one on the G29, that very, very popular wheel. Most of the people we've chatted to have been running that wheel in particular. And F1 background? How long have you been playing the games? And
Yeah. So I've been playing the F1 games since the 2011 edition. So this will be my 10th year now driving on the F1 game. Admittedly, not all of them with a wheel, but most of them for sure. And follow the F1 as well very closely, the actual sport. I've been to every Australian Grand Prix as well since 2011 at Albert Park.
You are a hardcore, dedicated fan and dedicated F1 gamer. Carl in the chat says he started at end of Season 2 as well. Do you know Kyle Dyer?
No, not off the top of my head, but there you go. Good to hear.
Yeah. And are you a Ricardo fan? Bit of Ricardo fan, like most of the Aussies?
Yeah, been a Ricardo sucker since day one. Since Mark Webber left the sport. So I've been following him up to McLaren now, and leaning towards Lando Norris a bit more now, actually.
And little birdie told me that you've met Mark Webber personally too.
Yes, I have. I'm very lucky to know a family member that knows Mark. So I've met him on a couple of occasions, and he's a pretty cool dude.
That is awesome. And you're going to be taking us around a hot lap, aren't you, around here? You are keen to continue the tradition everyone else has been sort of yeah, going on with. And you're sitting in P10 at the minute with 39.9. We can improve on that, I presume?
Yeah, look, that was just a banker. Pretty scrappy lap, to be honest. So I'm heading back out now for a second run, as such.
Great, 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 great. And yeah, what are you targeting for today, you reckon?
Look, I'm going to be conservative and just say somewhere in the 39s, preferably low, obviously. Haven't quite done enough practice to, be anywhere higher than that.
Okay. And we've got, and you're a street circuit man, like 10.
Yes, correct. So I prefer street circuits, and my favourite track being Monaco to surprise a lot of people. Lots don't like Monaco, but yeah, I've had good success this season so far in Canada and Monaco. So hopefully I can continue that around here at Baku.
Yeah, well, you won in Tier 2 in Canada, so congratulations on that win. Carl is continuing. He's in the America Series, and his PSN is KD1997. I don't know if you know any of the America dudes.
Yes. I have seen him around the server, and I'm sure that we've raced each other before, and maybe an open series, but I do recognise him.
Oh, look at that. And I've got your helmet up just for the folks at home there. Just tell us maybe a little bit about the design just before you wind up to this lap.
Yeah, so look, there's nothing really super special about the helmet. There is a little bit of inspiration from V8 supercar driver Mark Winterbottom there.
Oh, there you go. All right, we'll shut up and we'll let you take us through this lap.
Alrighty, so yeah, I'm coming down the front straight here. I'm going to get the DRS on straight at the point. We've got a yellow flag on the straight with Ferrari, but 8th gear, pretty standard practice. Come down here into turn 1, braking, use as much track as possible. Just missed that curb. Up here, this corner. Down to second briefly, back up to third, short shift. I lost the urine a bit there, up in the delta. Probably should use the slipstream of that car, but oh well. Oh, probably got a bit deep there for my liking. Back up to third, short shift. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet, lads. Just concentrating.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that was a lot better through there. I'm about 4 tenths up at the moment. Okay, coming to this last section. Don't want to clip the curb there, just get it short shift to 4th, 5th round here, use all the track. And then flat through these last 2. Hard doing the race with a heavy fuel load, but easy in qualifying. I'm going to stick it in 8th gear and sort of hug the left side of the track, shortest possible distance to the line, DRS on. I'm going to hug this inside wall, and that'll put me P7. So it's not too bad for a second run.
No, that was pretty damn good. And you're just shy of Mighty Wombat there with a 39.3 he's got. Couple of tenths safe behind with Drax on the mediums. But yeah, the next guy up after Wombat is a good 6 tenths in P5 with Noah. And yeah, good in the top 10 comfortably at the moment. Definitely places improved, just such as here. Look, we noticed that going a little bit deep, but good job on the commentary there. It's obviously very difficult, and you know you're only our second driver now to successfully complete a commentary lap. So props to you.
No, thanks. Well, I am going to try and squeeze in one more run here, dying second. So
yeah.
We'll
so we will
do.
leave you to do that. Thanks for having a chat with us. We'll just ask you a quick question. Strategy, obviously we'll be starting on the soft tire unless you get knocked out of the top 10. Strategy?
Yeah. Strategy is a 2-stop. It's probably going to look like a soft, medium, or a medium, soft. But yet again, it's Baku, street circuit, plenty of safety cars, anything could happen. So I might let you guys know a bit later on with that.
Yeah, and setup, lower downforce or a bit more higher?
A little bit on the low side. Yes, I compromised that a little bit for some more corner speed, but I think hopefully the majority of the lobby will be doing that.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, we'll be following you carefully. Thanks once again from TriKid, well, hopefully there's no safety cars, but we might catch up with you a bit later on. Thanks again.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Alrighty, Tent, catch us up on what's been going on track.
Alright, so some boys, just the ones, I've been mainly focusing on the ones that haven't set their laps yet, and so GeForce Ford coming through doing a 138.5, which put him on pole. We also had Noah who completed his lap and with a 138.7, so he's in 5th at the moment. Now, I did notice a couple boys clipping the wall and losing a bit. Noah was one of them who absolutely smacked the wall in Castle, but luckily survived. Now, one who didn't survive was GeForce Zach. He, crashed in Castle and has unfortunately DNF'd out of qualifying. Another one getting really loose was GeForce Pato, who is Alex Pato, but is now joined GeForce. And yeah, I think Karma finished his lap, and another one to look out for was probably Drax, who set a lap on his mediums. He jumped pretty high up. I think he was up at 7th, but is fallen down to 9th now.
Yes, and GeForce Pato, he's Italian, and I feel like every time I say his name, I'm going to do my little hand gesture, just to really get the emphasis. Even though you guys can't see that at home, PRL Saint about to finish a lap that puts him up in P7 there, not too shabby at all from the McLaren, squeezing just into that little gap in the top 10, and we're winding up now into the final sections of this qualifying session. I'm going to stick with Karma. He's about to start his flying lap. He, of course, was on our interview from last time. A couple of guys retiring. I presume that's in the pit lane. TriKid has retired. Did he have a little whoopsie, or was that in the pit lane? Did you see that, Tent?
I believe that was in the pit lane. I believe he didn't have enough time, unfortunately, to
go
be able to
out.
come into
Yeah, dang, that's unfortunate for him. P9 at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on that, see how that develops. As we're right on board with Karma at the moment. He's getting that nice, that first section hooked up quite nicely. End of the first sector down after turn 4. So we'll just stick on board with him for now. A couple of slow cars moving through the middle part of the track. Gets this a little bit deep and causing him to get on the power a little bit late. Silverfort there retiring, I think, in the pit lane also. And just coming up through Sector 2, end of Sector 2 now. He's tiny margin up and hits that curb quite violently. As you mentioning earlier, different people choosing to take or not take certain curbs right over this curb at turn 7 now. This is this terrifying castle section. Is he going to send it up through here? Yes, he does, right up against the wall. That was very much on the edge, using all the track on the exit through turn 12 there. Lots of time to be gained through here, and he's coming now up to the end of sector 2, which will be round down the hill. Again, let's see how he takes this curb. Does Karma choosing to avoid that like a lot of the other drivers there, as it's very easy to get sent out through this end of sector 2. He is up 3/10 at the moment. Hopefully he can carry that speed through the final section. Qualifying now, checkered flag has hit. Jay's there, pipping to pole at the moment, beating 4. That's a surprise. I'm surprised his teammate there, Saint, did not give him a toe down. That could have definitely been handy for him. Yeah, Karma just coming up to the line now. What's there? This, and he finishes the P11. Who else have we got? Chip responds with a P3, very close to the top there. You can keep an eye on Ford, who's also on a flyer at the minute. Who's going to be next from across the line? I think it's going to be Ford. He's the car in the lead at the moment. We'll stick on with him. 38.5 sitting at the moment. I haven't seen if he's been up or down in this lap, but his fuel light is blinking. He's obviously pushing the absolute limits with the fuel on his car, trying to just save as much time as possible, less weight, faster the car goes on the straight. 38.5 he's got at the minute. Can he get that pole position back? Not quite, so close off. Jace has got provisional pole at the minute. Does anybody have an answer? Plebs has gone purple through the middle sector. He's going to be up the line next. Ford not managing to get that pole time. Couple of position changes through the middle of the field. Just keeping an eye on Plebs at the moment. Can he improve in this final part? He's got a couple of tenths to squeeze out of his time. And coming across the line now, yes, does grab pole by the merest of margins. A couple of thousandths in it. Noah coming down the line. He's going to be the next car across the line. Can he improve? Yes, he takes pole by half a tenth. Is there anybody left that can respond to this? Ferrari Pro, I did not quite see where he finished. He's P6 on his steering wheel. Ferrari having a bit of a show today.
Yeah, beautifully done there from Noah, taking that. I think that's his first pole position here in this tier.
Yes, look at that pose there. Just that's what that final lap was, exactly as his character avatar shows there. 38.2, just snatched it. Wow, Ford, we've got quite used to seeing him really dominating in qualifying, but look at the guys bringing it back there. Jays, Plevs, Noah, wow. Certainly putting the pressure on, and yeah, good result for the Ferrari boys. Where's Alex down in P9 for the Mercedes? They're gonna have a bit of a job today, losing out a little bit with the McLarens. Down a little bit lower. Drax in the Williams there. Who else have we got? Unfortunately, Trikid knocked out of the P10, but that does allow him to start on an alternate tire, so maybe not a huge blow to him.
Yeah, the boys are being really close with their times there. Like, not much difference in everyone's pace, so it should be a good race.
Yeah, Ford in the chat there. Yikes, he's got a battle on his hand today, I think. Definitely, and I'm excited for this. This is really shaking things up. Yeah, but will be interesting to see what tires people choose to go on. I'm sandbagging, I promise, says Ford. Yeah. I think you're gonna have to rip those I wonder if we'll see the sandbags at the side of the pit lane there as you just rip them off. Please don't tell me I'm struggling at loading in again like last time. Are you?
No, I think you're good because I'm not in.
Yep, and Carl there did not expect from Noah. Neither did we. It sort of came out of nowhere, didn't it, that one?
Yeah.
He hasn't been racing too much. He's only not. Let me just double check these race results from before. Yeah, Noah has not started 50% of the races we've had so far. DNF'd in 2 of them, so he's only finished 1 race so far of the 3 that he's been in. As a consequence, sitting in P17, so we haven't really seen too much of him. But obviously, the American boys, as Carl pointed out, Wombat and Noah race with him in the Americas. So American boys putting on a bit of a show for the Aussies here. Bit of an upset.
Yeah, maybe Carl might need to think about doing a bit of reserving. Come join him.
Yeah, but he's good entertaining in the chat. Well, we want him in the chat.
yeah.
So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this order here. Noah P1 at the moment, pole position. What a great job from him in that Ferrari. Plevs in P2 in the McLaren. Jays P3 in the AlphaTauri. Ford. A normal pole position upset there. P4, CBF Chip reserving tonight for CBF Rude in the Red Bull. P5, very solid performance from him. Ferrari Pro in P6. Drax, another reserve in the Williams in P7. Bags in there. Aston Martin as we get a lovely shot coming through there. P9 for Alex in the Mercedes, who now runs the G-Force tag. And rounding off the top 10, PRL Saint on the softs. Now, what's really interesting here, as we're coming down to P11 and P12 of Wombat and Trikid on the softs. So they're going to be going aggressive at the start. Definitely, interesting strategy. I'm surprised they didn't want to go a bit longer on the medium. So we see how that plans out. Might have been, maybe they're anticipating some sort of safety car in the first 5 laps. Karma on the McLaren in mediums, Scotty in P14 in the mediums, Silderfort also mediums, and Zachary, who had that poor qualifying, getting knocked out in the mediums, rounding off the pack there. But yeah, definitely the talking point of tyre choices, Wombat and Trikid on those soft tyres.
Yeah, I guess they must suspect that maybe an early safety car, maybe the other boys also think that it might be one, but they might also just consider the track position might be worth it.
Yeah, Carl apparently is the championship leader in the Americans, so he said he did not expect that from Noah as well. So yeah, maybe Noah's been practicing hard, and hopefully he can, hopefully he can show the other guys up a little bit with this great pole from him. So cars now finally just taking the final grid spots here. Hopefully they've warmed up their tyres. Maybe he might consider reserving. Oh, says Carl in endurance. Well, we would definitely welcome seeing you on the track. As you can see, there's a few spare spots as the final car pulls into this into the grid slot, and we're about to get this Azerbaijan 51 lap race underway. Bit of a timing glitch there. That'll fix itself. Don't panic too hard. And just waiting for those lights. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4, 5 lights. And away they go, down to the first corner. Noah doesn't seem to get a great start. Plev's on the inside, looking like he's had a much better run, but Noah sweeps round the outside. Couple of cars jostling for position back there. Everyone seems to get through cleanly, which is great to see. Noah holds on to that lead. Status quo, but Ford has overtaken Jays. Jays not having a great start as they run down to the first corner. What's happening in the back here? Chip's lost quite a few positions. There's definitely going to be position fighting through here. And looking for a move, his bag's on the inside, he locks up, oh, there's a car gone round in front of the Alfa Romeo of Jay's. Absolute shocking start from him, losing lots of positions. The Ferrari getting all wide, almost up to the wall, having to go defensive from Bags. Let's ride on board from behind. Bags going round the outside, can he hold on to this position? Oh, he gets on the curb, gets wild, and that's put Chip right off and allowed Ferrari Pro to scamper off into the distance there. The guy settling through, hopefully Jays has got going. Yes, he has a bit of a lower position, but he has got going. Hopefully not taking any damage. Will they make it through clean through the castle section up the hill? Very tight and narrow, easy to make a mistake. Just focus on getting through there on the first lap. And what else have we got here? I saw a Williams there looking for a position in the back, but backing out of it. Who else have we got? Yes, just coming through this section. No moves, just single file through here. The leader's already making a bit of a gap there from the rest of the pack. Ferrari Pro in the second group there.
Yeah, settling down just a little bit now, but we're coming onto the back straight. We might see a couple more moves come here.
Yeah, Chip's having a look. He's just a 10th off that. He seemed to... It feels like he just having a little bit of lift there, just waiting a little bit, sort of. And there he goes with the energy deploying and pulls out down the inside. And looks like it's going to be fairly simple job done on Bags. Also a couple of position changes at the back there. Saint into the pits with damage, I presume. Maybe you want to check that out, Ten, and just confirm that wing change there for him. As a couple of position changes there coming down to the first corner.
Yeah, wing change for Saint and Silver Fort.
Not a great start for them then.
Onto the hards for Silverfort and onto the mediums for Saint.
Yeah, a bit of a change in strategy there, and these gaps just opening up a little bit. Hopefully Ferrari, for his sake, can catch up to the rest of the pack there, but otherwise the other guys getting through. Trikid having a great start there, up 3 positions on that soft tire. Obviously those 2 guys pitting with damage, but he's going to want to keep on the back of this little group here. I say little, but it's actually stretching all the way up to Ferrari and all the way back down to Zach, who's holding up the rear. So yeah, these guys at the front also split off into their little pack. Noah's still holding on to P1.
Yeah, Noah doing really well there, and he seems to have some pace here as well, as I believe he might be gapping Plebs just a little. As I say that, the time seems to drop a little.
Maybe it's just through that castle section as they concertina slightly. Chip falling off a little bit off Ferrari. That's exactly what Ferrari wants to see. Some of these gaps opening up a second here. Look at that. Drax all over the back of Bags, putting on some serious pressure. And I reckon Bags made a little bit of a mistake there as the gaps jumped up to 1.3 seconds. And he's going to be vulnerable down the straight here. As he's pulling off to the left, a bit of a... I'm not sure if he was expecting that, but looks like a virtual safety car. McLaren PR Saint round he goes, and everyone's diving into the pit lane straight away. Let's see what tyres everyone chooses to go on here. I wonder if these guys on the mediums are going to stay out. Yes, I'm sure they will. Lots of... it's not actually everyone, just the front group there. Trikid, Jay's shedding those soft tyres, but the rest of them choosing to stay out. Interesting, those soft tyres don't tend to last too long. I know this is an early place for virtual safety car, but making the most of it. Time to be gained with a virtual safety car, of course, as everyone is lapping around here much slower than they should be. You effectively gain quite a lot of time if you choose to pit at this point. And you know what, whilst we're doing this, I'll quickly see if we can jump back to this replay that I grabbed of earlier on, as that's not what I actually told it to replay. So once again, failing with the replay there system. But we'll get back into this as the drive-through penalty for Noah. That is a disaster, and also for Plebs too. What happened here?
What happened?
Drive-throughs for the front two drivers. That is a huge upset, playing right into the hands of Ford and Ferrari. Oh no, speeding under the virtual. Maybe that castle section just catching them out. Sometimes that delta is it just bounces around. 1 minute you're 2 seconds up, next minute you're 5/10ths down, and suddenly out of nowhere. And obviously the virtual just ending there at the wrong time as they came through the castle section. Absolute disaster for those guys.
Yeah, very unfortunate for those guys. Another person who lost out a little bit was Trickard. Changed his front wing in the pits. I don't believe he did have damage, but I don't believe he wanted to change his front wing, unfortunately.
That is the Achilles heel for Noah, says Carl. And yes, we have seen when we've seen Noah racing, he does pick up some penalty. He's very quick. We've definitely seen that from him, but he's fairly inconsistent. And that is exactly what Carl said, exactly when I said that. So both of us speaking on that point. Inconsistency is Noah's problem. But I think racing in endurance definitely helps you build and improve on that consistency just from those long races that we're doing. Karma having a little look at Scotty, but tucks back into the slipstream of Scotty going through turn 3, not quite getting close enough to overtake. But yeah, sort of settling in a little bit into this race. Ford has been given the lead, gifted the lead, one could say, by the tragedy of Plevs and Noah on picking up that drive-through penalty, unfortunately. But yeah, a lot of those guys are choosing to pit down the bottom there on those fresh medium tyres. They'll be going long, and Silderfort in the pits already. Is that another wing change for him? He's just come out. So yeah, he's not having a great weekend again. He had a bit of a shocker at Monaco. Lots of wing changes for him. Hopefully it's not going to be a too similar deal for him at this track too. So well, yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, just two battles really going on at the moment. Scotty and Karma fighting it out for P4, and Noah and Plev still behind each other on that soft tyre. They obviously they were not able to change that tyre with that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, very unlucky for those boys. They've got the pace though, so if they just work together, I think they still have a chance of trying to get a podium.
Yeah, that soft tyre will begin to fall off bit by bit. Having a little look, pulling out the last minute. Doesn't really seem to have much of a straight line advantage, does he, Karma? You would have thought that with the DRS slipstream and the energy, you know, you'd pick up wow, that Aston Martin in the background almost touching the wall through that section, and this has turned into a four-way battle now. These two, Wombat there on that soft tyre, allowing him to catch up to the back of this pack, so we'll keep a close eye on here. Chip also having a look at Ferrari Pro, not quite close enough through the DRS section up to turn 3, and Wombat going a little bit wide through that section. This allowed Zach to get right up the back, and Zach having a mighty recovery after that pretty poor qualifying. He's up in P7 at the moment. Yeah, this group just it's pretty hard, pretty tricky to overtake through the middle part of this lap. It's quite tight. You're going to be really relying on someone else to make a mistake to get past through here, through this castle section. Now this is, yeah, it's kind of like a heart in your mouth moment every time you come through that section on the lap, because yeah, there's a lot of time to be gained, but also it's very easy to throw it away through there. I wouldn't be surprised if that claims a few more drivers throughout the race. Alex, right on the back of Drax, will have a little look-see at this battle going on here as they head down into turn 15. Another tricky corner with that inside curve there, and the wall, outside wall, very close to the edge of the track. Does Wombat have damage? Asks Kyle. Does he have damage? Can you just confirm if he's got damage for his tent? Just have a little look whilst we're keeping an eye on this battle here with Alex and Drax. Yeah, Alex pulling up alongside. It's going to be a drag race, because that was a lot of understeer. He had a turn 5. It did look like Did look like he locked up through there. That's a pretty simple move there by Alex on Drax down into turn 1. I think he just locked up down at turn 3, and that's what caused him to go wide. But Tent's looking into that for... Are you there, Tent?
Yes, I am here. I was just keeping my mouth shut a bit and just admiring the battles. I don't see any visual damage on Wombat's car, and he did make a pretty clean overtake, and if he had damage, I don't think he would have been able to make that overtake as well as he did, so I don't think he has damage.
Yeah, I also would agree with that synopsis there. Nah, he doesn't, says Carl. That's right. Well, we're coming to the same conclusions at the same time. On it are we today. And yeah, those guys at the back there, those gaps really have opened up. And yellow flag in sector 2. Is that the castle? Is that a Ferrari? No, that's a Alpine of it keeps. There we go. Of Zach, who's gone around as they were having that little battle. The castle section. He's lost his front wing as well. Castle section claiming our first driver. Obviously, well, he did get claimed by it in qualifying too. So Zach having already a bit of a nightmare with that section, and that's going to cost him huge amount of time in this little battle. He had regained that from his poor qualifying, but unfortunately that's stricken. That's Chip getting past Ferrari down into turn 1. That's stricken Alpine, as I was just saying. And yeah, DRS making the moves fairly simple. Obviously, you know, if you're going to be doing the move down into turn 1, you're going to be vulnerable coming out of turn 2, because that DRS is going to be given to the other car that's just overtaken, and Ferrari Pro breezing breezing straight past, but they're going to be side by side coming through turn 3, and Chip round the outside with the advantage there just keeps that position.
Yeah, another battle to look out for at the moment is Scotty versus Mighty Wombat. With Scotty being on the mediums and Mighty Wombat being on those fresh softs, I'm sure Mighty Wombat will be wanting to try and overtake him as soon as possible.
Yes, certainly. Those guys, Zach imitating Formula Ford. Those guys on differing strategies. There's a few of those medium runners of, like you said, Karma and Scotty mixed up there with the soft runners, and that will pay out eventually once the tire degradation kicks in on those soft tire. But for now, you'd still think that the softs might have that advantage. You'd expect them to go a minimum of 10 laps on that soft tire. Of course, some of those guys did qualify on them too, so they'd be starting to get a bit worn.
Yeah, I'd say about minimum 10 laps. They, as you said, they will be getting a bit worn now.
Yeah, they're just spread out a little bit through that final section there, and of course the DRS will close them up a little bit. Sitting into that, you still get a bit of a slipstream, but yeah, Karma not picking up as much of a slipstream as some of the other guys. Wombat right up the back of, and who's that in the pits? That's Noah into the pits on the soft tire. That seems like a bit of an early stop to me. Maybe he had some damage. Seems to get going pretty quickly, so I think it's just no, he hasn't quite is he changing his front wing whilst we're keeping an eye on this little battle? If you can just report on that for us.
Yeah, I think there was a front wing change there.
Yeah, so Noah just having a little bit of a brush with the wall. Tri-Kid up to P11 because of that. Noah just tucks in right behind him, so he's going to have some little bit of a competition behind him with Noah on those fresh mediums. And we know Noah's got pace, and like I mentioned before, it's that consistency. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on that. But these guys still fighting through this lap, not really getting too much time through here. I'm sure Wombat's going to be a little bit frustrated, stuck behind Scotty on the medium tire. Yeah, as mentioned, a bit of a wing change there for Noah, hence the early stop, we believe. And Noah already getting past Tri-Kid, I think has made a mistake. He's just ghosted there. That's rather odd. We missed that one, unfortunately. Maybe Tent, you can find out for us what happened there. Yeah, and Drax also on the back of Alex. Both those guys on the fairly fresh medium tires.
I think Tricker just said that his internet had died on him, unfortunately.
Oh no, that's not good, not good at all. I wonder why he was still ghosted through there. Hopefully he can get back with us. Really cross fingers for him there, because that would be a real shame. In this race, obviously, you know, he loves the street tracks, love the Baku, and we were sort of, you know, rooting for him in this race. But Drax here, tucked up right behind Alex in that Mercedes. Can he get a decent run down here? Doesn't look like. I think Alex had a great exit coming out of turn 2, and he's not going to be quite close enough into that section. He'll just have to settle in behind him. But you'd start to be expecting the soft runners to think about coming in the next 5 or so laps. Maybe some will come in a little bit early, get a bit of an undercut. But as Triken mentioned in qualifying, you know, he's looking at a 2-stop. I think all these guys in the soft tyres will probably be looking at 2-stops also. The medium runners, anybody starting on the mediums, might be looking potentially at a 1-stop, but it's a bit of a stretch, especially that hard tyre. I sort of mentioned I personally find a few issues. I don't know if anybody else. Be interesting to hear from anybody in the chat if they also find issues with keeping the tyres in their optimum temperature window around here. I personally struggle with that, and I know Tent, you have a little issue with that too.
Yeah, I do struggle a bit with that, unfortunately. Ooh. Sorry, Tri-Kid almost clipping the wall there in Castle.
Yeah, he's not Ghost anymore, so hopefully that's his connection problems done. We just lost the timing there, so I wasn't really sure about what was happening, as it resets itself once the leader has crossed the lap there. It seems to be happening more and more often. I'm not sure it has something to do with the latest patch, because did not happen before. But Ferrari having maybe a little look at Chip, goes to the inside but backs out of it the last second. Not going to be quite close enough, just sort of sticks his nose in there to put him. Wombat hit that wall pretty good at turn 15. How the hell do you know that, Carl? You got some insider knowledge, insider sights that we don't have. I did notice Wombat hitting the wall here and there, but you know, if you just get it just right and just hit it on the tyre wall, you get away with it. And oh no, he got away with it. Yes, that's what I was just saying. You know, if you just, obviously it's pretty hard to do that on purpose, and no one means to hit a wall, but if you can sort of work out you're hitting the tyre wall, that's going to save you instead of touching with the wing. Look at that, Karma almost pushing Wombat through the castle section. Lots of confidence in the lad through there. Can he make a move? He has been slowly gaining through this section, and it's interesting to see these three battling away. Yeah, catches up on the brakes there. Does Karma. I wonder if he's getting ready for a move through here. They got fairly... I'm just watching Blackmoon. Okay, well, I'm clearly not paying attention then. Karma, yes, 3/10. Can he make a move here? Does seem like he's got the run on Mighty Wombat, who's also using his energy, running a little bit low, and Scotty's done a very good job to stay ahead here. He's not even using his energy. Obviously, running that AlphaTauri very trim on the wing angles to squeeze the top speed out of him there. Yes, I'm sure I was on board with him and didn't see, and I was most likely looking at the deltas or something, keeping an eye. It's managing what you're looking at as Ferrari gets past Chip there. Finally, bit of a lockup from the Ferrari, but gets the job done down into turn 3, and a bit of a sideways movement from Chip there, showing he's struggling a little bit on those soft tyres. Missing all the moves here. There's Drax also having a look at Alex, who's got the inside, and he's gonna give him enough space, just about. But Drax losing it a little bit. He's gonna be a little bit angry, I think, down on the phone there at that Mercedes driver. Did he leave him enough space coming around the outside of that corner? What do you reckon?
Oh, look, I think Drax did touch the wall there, just a small bit. Whether he got damage or not, I'm not too sure, but it was, if there was enough room, it was very minimal.
Yeah, getting bit under the hot under the collar, I'm sure Drax will be through there. He would have been very shouting down the phone at that Mercedes driver, "Oh, you're squeezing me!" I think we just about enough racing room was left there, but yeah, right on the edge. Going around the outside of that corner, I mean, you're going to need a very compliant driver on the other end there to give you the room. Karma, much better run down this time, down into turn, but look at that, it's just not gaining even with the energy. You can see Mighty Wombat on the recharge there, and he just yeah, it just wasn't gaining at all there, even with his energy. So I wonder if Karma's running slightly too much downforce, and it's going to definitely hamper him if that is the case on overtaking other cars. Couple of guys in the pits, Wombat being the first one. He's straight onto that medium tyre, one of the soft runners, switching out, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the other guys also switching too. Let's see if we can take a look at that again for you guys here, as, yeah, there we go, I just jumped on board there with Drax round the outside, having a little look-see, and you can see Alex has got in front, and yeah, I do think there was just about enough space given there. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it looked like he didn't touch that wall on that outside, so very awesome to see those two having a great fair battle.
And it's not over by the looks of it, not over at all. And they are actually catching up to Plevs as well on the soft tyre. That soft tyre definitely starting to go away from him as the medium runners catch up, but this battle is far from over. We'll be keeping a close eye on this because I'm sure Drax will be, like I said, a little bit hot under the collar after that little move there, which didn't pay off, and he's going to want to get one on Alex. Alex might even just about get into the DRS of Plebs by the end of this lap. The detection point, of course, much later, almost at the, well, it's at the last corner. Turn 20 is the detection zone, and I think he's now under a second, so he'll be getting the DRS. That's going to make it a bit more difficult for Drax.
Yeah, because we're coming into the pits there and getting a front wing change.
That's unfortunate for him, having only done 5 laps on this yellow flag down at turn 1. What's happened here? What's happened here down at turn 1? That's the wrong car. I want to see this car here. We got movement as well. Plebs in the pits also. What has happened there? I'm struggling to see who that was, but yeah, bit of a change of position. I think that's Ford. I think that's Ford had an issue down into turn 1. He's lost quite a few positions there on that old soft tyre. His front wing looks intact, but Scotty and Karma making it through. CBF and Chip now, CBF Chip and Ferrari Pro fighting for the lead. I did miss that, unfortunately. Did not see what happened to Ford. We'll just have a little look and see if he's struggling a little bit through here. Just like struggling to get on the power, but I think that's that old soft tyre. I think it's time for that. Look at him on that curb, really struggling. I think it's time for that soft tyre to go. Oh, he's right up against the wall through the castle section. Definitely pushing the limits there. Don't want to get any closer than that. Drax just struggling a little bit to keep up with Alex there. Mercedes now back to back. I'm sure that definitely won't want to hold him up through there. But Ford's actually caught back up to this group of Scotty and Karma. But I would say these guys in pretty good position on that medium tyre. Only a couple of seconds off the soft runners. They've made up that deficit of qualifying in these couple of laps.
Yeah, I believe that they're the only ones that haven't pitted. Yeah, they are on those mediums, so they still, I would assume, have 2 pit stops left.
Indeed, but they, potentially are going to be going for the 1 stop, but we'll see how it pans out for them. Plev's going to be looking for a move on Mighty Wombat. He's got the DRS. He's got a good run too, coming down the main straight, and pulls up alongside and clears the car already. But I wouldn't be surprised if Wombat has a little look back at Plebs. Obviously, he's going to have the DRS now, heading down the second DRS straight. So it might not be over for this battle coming up through here. Yes, he's got the DRS open there. Doesn't seem to have quite a good enough run. I think Plebs has got the edge on him through there.
Those guys that are on their softs are not looking great with their pace. Scotty and Karma have both caught up to Ferrari Pro now.
Yeah, they're going to want to get off that tyre probably as soon as possible, because it's just going to cost them more and more time. Although, you know, it's going to hold up these guys too. And just got to be careful not to trip over each other with the different tyre compounds now coming here with a different pace also. Right up the back of Ferrari Pro is Scotty. And we're going to get the DRS now coming down this main straight. And, well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I see these two guys with the softs pulling off into the pits this lap. Scotty right up behind Ferrari. This is going to be good for him, helping him with the battle between him and Karma. Just staving off Karma for another lap. Look at this, there's all these guys down the straight here. Might see quite a few moves coming down here. Ferrari Pro pulls the inside, I think, into the pit lane, and he's going to go into the pits. Yes, he is. What else have we got here? Drax and Ford. Ford into the pits. Drax still behind Alex, and there could be a run through turn 2 and turn 3 on that straight for Drax.
Yeah, Ford clipping the wall coming into the pits there. Luckily not getting any damage though.
Yeah, that would be an even bigger disaster for him. It's not had the cleanest of runs so far. These guys not side by side coming through turn 4 this time. And nose to stern through that section, probably a little bit wise as Ford already making moves down into turn 3, getting past mighty Wombat on the medium tyre, as we also see Ferrari Pro and Plebs next to each other on the track once again. And these guys had a great close battle at Monaco, at Imola, so I hope we're going to see another battle between the two of them again today.
Yeah, that old soft tyre that Chip's still on is so slow. There was about 1.3 second gap, and Scotty and Karma have already closed that.
Yeah, you know I mean, it's not huge track for penalties, but no one's picked up a penalty yet. 15 laps into this race, that's got to be a first, right?
I think it is.
That's great to see. Clean racing. I mean, there's only really a few places you can pick up penalties, like going wide down at turn 12. Also going wide here, you can pick up a penalty. Turn, and then maybe a few corner cutting, say down into turn 15, and also turn 7. I did see Ferrari Pro cutting that quite a lot. Maybe he picked up a warning from that, but yeah, he's not going to be close enough. He's going to give a DRS, but not going to be close enough down into turn 1. But that is the beauty of this, is that you get a good slipstream, good tow, good DRS to catch you up down into turn 1, and then as you can see, there's Chip, and he is lost out from that, pitting that 1 lap, 2 laps later. Ferrari Pro getting that undercut on him, and Ford also managing to sneak in there. And these guys are all racing for position. Obviously, the guys in front haven't pitted, so now look at these guys, all 4 of them very close together. This is going to be a battle to watch. But yeah, Chip's just dropped off a second there. Hopefully he can get back in just to continue that DRS as Ford's gone purple through the first sector, showing he has the pace at the moment on these guys. Some good camera angles here overhead. It's good to see the overtaking, and they're going to head through the castle section here. So it's a little bit tricky to follow through here, because you've got that car sort of unsighting those apexes just ahead of you. And yeah, they get through there nice and cleanly, but Chip already fallen off the back of these guys. That 1.3 seconds, he's going to need to close that down if he's going to want to make an attempt to keep up with these guys through the DRS. Wow, look at Ford closing right up to Ferrari in that braking zone there. It's going to be putting him off a little bit. And yep, they're all going to have DRS coming down the straight now, so let's have a quick little look at energy levels there. Ferrari the lowest out of the group. Energy not too bad on this track with all the big braking zone. Good for recovery on those. Ford, look at Ford, he seems to have a really good run down here, even before the DRS. Slipstream, look at that, catching up to Plebs. This could be 3 wide coming here. Plebs, whoa, that was very, very close. Ford just having to take a little bit of evasive action through into that section. Caught out a little bit by Ferrari Pro, who looked to the inside but then chose to back out, and that's sort of just get him out a little bit out of line. There's Chip is lagging in the background a tiny bit there, trying to break the streak between Plebs, and yeah, these guys just keep the status quo through this lap. Let's see if I caught that on the replay there. I think I did just about catch that. Let's have a look at that little flick there. Ferrari Pro, you can see, has a good slipstream on Plebs coming down the straight. He looks to the outside. Oh, and yeah, just Ford getting a little bit caught out by the braking zones of the other cars. Luckily, no harm done.
Yeah, being able to manage that is very quick reactions there. You gotta it's just pure reactions really. Luckily, as you said, no damage or no incident.
Yeah, these guys are all having a good battle around the track. They're all very close to each other, and that's great to see. Good strong battle for the lead there. Scotty currently sitting in P1 on those older medium tyres along with Karma. The other three behind them on slightly fresher ones, and then these guys who were on the soft tyres and changed onto the mediums just a few laps ago. And this battle is far from over. Ferrari has lost the DRS to Plebs. That is a game changer for him, because that's allowed Ford just to sail right past into this DRS zone, and Ferrari losing out that position there. Obviously not quite able. Look how much energy Ferrari has used up. And to be honest, they're all using up a lot of energy too. Drax still fighting with Alex. These guys, I think this battle is going to go on all race, and the same thing with the group for P6.
Yeah, Drax and Pato are catching up to Karma and Scotty, so we might see a battle start to fire up between those guys.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like you need to have another Super Duper tent.
yeah, maybe I do.
Yeah, you sound like you're flagging a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna bring the energy levels back up. Noah's also having a look at the mighty Wombat, those two PRL boys, having a tussle. Obviously, they race together in the PRL league. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I was just about to comment how close Noah was to that wall, and he's tagged that wall, unfortunately, and that's Noah out of this race. I wonder if that's, I mean, it's out of the way, so we might not see a safety car from this yellow flag, so there's other things happening, and we'll just quickly change to that. But that's Noah out of this race through the castle section, claiming another driver in this race.
Yeah, very easy thing to do there. Surprised that it took 19 laps before we saw the first real claim through there.
So there's lots of things happening here suddenly. Yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone was doing so well, but that's bound to happen at some point of this race. I just saw another slow moving. What's that? Was that Tri-Kid? No, he's still going as well. That's good. But yeah, a couple of Ford getting past Plebs. That's what I was about to say. Ford getting past Plebs, and Ferrari Pro still sitting behind that, just that 1.5 seconds off. And a bit of a lock up there. I wonder. I hope. How is that not a safety car? That's a good question, Roscoe. We saw that last week in Monaco. We were convinced that was a safety car from Silderfort, right?
Yeah.
He was on the racing line, and he had hit the wall and spun back on that part of the Zach on the soft tyres there. A bit of an odd one there.
He did get a front wing change, so he must have clipped the wall at some point.
Yeah, wants to get some good tyres on there to try and reclaim a bit of that time. Yeah, that was that Monaco. That was so bizarre. We thought that was going to be a safety car for sure. I guess you could say he was actually off the track there, was Noah, on that runoff area, so you could argue that, I mean, if it had crashed in the castle section, like on the actual track, then I would have said definitely safety car, but him being off the track, I wonder, I'm really, you know what, actually, before we head to a replay, let's have a look what's going on here for the lead. Alex, looking for the lead, gets the job done. Yes, he does, down into turn 1, but I would hesitate to say it's not over yet, because Scotty's still that couple of tenths behind him, very much so in striking distance. Sector 2 yellow flag. Who's that? Is that Zach? That's Zachary. There's the safety car. Zachary going up through the castle, and from here where he is, who's that coming through the castle? I want to see if we can see the car. No, didn't quite get there in time.
Yeah. in it seems to be the entry point. So you know the first corner on the left. It seems like he's clipped that, and then just kind of he's up against the wall. So he is right in the middle of that castle section.
And yeah, that's the traditional place you'd think someone would lose it on, sort of on the outside going up the hill. You know, you just outbreak yourself. But as I was saying back to Noah, he lost it on the inside hitting the wall, which is very, very odd, I thought. But yes, safety car, that's going to allow those guys to close the gaps and catch up. Hopefully, Trikid, he's a lap down. I'm really hoping he can get back in the game, because if he's a lap down with the safety car, that's going to be bad. Don't pit, don't pit. I think because he needs to get past the safety car, doesn't it? Safety car's parked on the outside of turn 2, and he needs to get past that before it goes to no, is that right? To unlap himself? No, he's oh no, he's not a lap down. I'm an idiot. It's just he had just done 1 lap on his medium tires. Ignore me. I have not had enough Super Dupers today. You know what? Before we even hit to I will go look at that replay for you guys. But let's bring Trikid back in and have a little chat to him and see how he's doing. How are you going?
Yeah, look, not the greatest race so far. Unfortunately, I was going fine. I think you guys might have missed it. I actually double stacked with my teammate in the box.
That's not ideal.
At the very start, and wing change to add to that as well. So, yeah, but hopefully this will get me back in the game if I can get round in time, which I should be able to.
Yeah, the safety car still hasn't moved yet. It's just picking up our race leader now at turn 2. So, yeah, you got a bit of time to get on, and you got to get around this whole lap. But yeah, hopefully we're really hoping that'll bring you back into play.
Yeah, no, it should bring back into play. I'm currently on a fresh set of mediums that can get to the end of the race. Possibly. I might see about, though, a set of softs at the very end. It'll just be situational.
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable. Mediums and then softs. Do you have a fresh set of softs?
Yes, I do. Fresh set.
Oh, that'll make it. That'll be good. That'll be very good. Yeah, those guys. I was talking in the chat about Noah not triggering a safety car, but he was in the run-up. But Zach there, just getting stuck in the castle section. Absolute nightmare race for him, unfortunately. Your teammate's going pretty well too. I presume you're not in a chat with your teammate.
No, I don't actually. Who is my teammate tonight?
He's a reserve Drax. I don't know him, but I think he races a lot with some of the other tiers. So.
Oh, great.
So that is unfortunate, not being able to communicate and avoid that double stack. But you're only a third of a lap down from that safety car, so you should be right.
Yeah, if they go one more lap here behind the SC, I'll be fine to catch up.
I think they will. So, but yeah, so that's lucky because it didn't seem like an ideal start. You did make some positions on the start. I noticed there was a couple of positions up.
Yeah, got a good start, good launch off the line. Went to the right side of the track and went around Wombat. Got myself, up. I think it was behind maybe Zach or someone, and then maintained that position until the VSC. I actually just clipped the wall coming out of the final turn and got some wing damage.
Damn.
And that's when I then decided to box, but got caught with the double stack and the wing change.
Everyone pretty much in the same position with their tyres currently, so that'll help you out a bit. And safety car's going around for another lap, so that's good for you. I think
Absolutely.
I'm confused because my timing sheet says Bags is behind you, but he's definitely looks like he's...
No, he is. He's actually done about 4 or 5 pit stops, and he's a lap down.
Ah, yes. So he's ahead of you on the track, but behind you in position. Yeah. So that's exactly what we were hoping did not happen to you, because that would have been an absolute disaster. Pretty hard to recover from that. Yeah. So anyway, well, thanks for that quick update from you, and good luck for the rest of the race. And we're gonna get back to the track action now, as I'm sure the safety car will be coming in this lap. Thanks once again, Trikid.
Cheers, guys.
Yes, while this is happening, you know what? Let's see if I caught that replay of that incident before. Here's Noah coming down through the castle section. Very close to the outside, and yes, just touches that inside, and the car slides up the hill into the runoff area, and that is why I believe it did not trigger a safety car. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, smallest of touches there, and then his wheels just blown up, hasn't it?
I know, yeah. It did seem very light touch. It just must have hit it at the wrong angle, right?
I've had a couple instances where I've touched the wall at very slow speeds and had my wheels blown up still, but I don't know, the game can be a bit unpredictable sometimes with those things.
Yeah, it's just probably all about that angle that you hit it at. Sometimes you can clobber the wall and get away with no damage, and sometimes that's, like you said, smallest touch can really mess you up. Let's just have a little look-see at the order that we got currently going on here. Ford in pole, and safety car in this lap from Race Control. Ferrari Pro in P2, CBF Chip in P3, and out, look at that, Ferrari Pro, nice and aggressive, making sure Ford knows he's right there. And yeah, Ford going to take it nice and slow, let that safety car get away. Karma, of note, on the soft tyre, they only drive on the soft tyre, fresh soft, so that'll definitely be one to keep an eye on in that battle for, well, it was P6, but now it's P5 with Scotty also in that battle. But the Alpha Tauri sitting pretty nicely there in P5 and P7. When is he going to go? They're still weaving. I think he's going to go as late as possible, because you do not want to slipstream, let the other car have a slipstream down here, because it's just going to invite. Look at that Ferrari so close to the back of Ford, and he's just waiting for him to go. When is he going to go? Ford is gone. Ford is gone, and behind there, Alex has got a very good run on Chip. Can he hold it down the inside? It does look like he's going to make the move. Stick Chip looking at the outside. Racing room given. Chip's going to try around the outside once again, but I think Alex is going to have the oh no, there's a bit of contact there, and they still going down this second straight, but I think Alex has got ahead just about and gets the move finally done 2 corners later. Oh, he's got a little bit of a lock up there. Scotty trying to look also on Chip. There's a bit of shenanigans going on here. Karma too. Bit of position change down the bottom with Mighty Wombat. Tri-Kid also getting through on the restart, and yeah, very tight around the outside, but Wombat concedes the position. Tri-Kid up to P11, getting past the Aston Martins, and yeah, back to settling into this race. But yeah, definitely Karma on that soft tyre. He's got to get these moves done ASAP before that soft tyre goes off.
Yeah, you took that safety car restart super easy there. Assuming that we should see him really start to push Scotty within on the back straight and in the next laps.
Yeah, Plebs getting past Drax in quite an unconventional spot there, I would have thought. And I wonder if Drax has got any kind of damage, because the group behind him has closed right up. Let's have a look how the car didn't seem too bad through there. So maybe he's okay, but yeah, Pleb's getting past through that 13-14 high-speed corner. So he seemed okay through here. If you got damage, that's where you're going to struggle a lot in that high-speed section. But Tri-Kid right up to the back of this group, 3/10 off, sitting in the slipstream, deploy used. Wow, I have not seen that message before. Used up all the maximum amount of deploy that he could through the lap. So he's been pushing hard this lap. Catches up in the braking zone, and yeah, no DRS yet. So he's going to have to done it. Wow, yeah, look at him go through that. Very confident on the brakes, but yeah, can't quite get past here. Still, the other guys all using their energy to similar amounts, so bit more tricky to get past. Leader still got the forward in the lead. Still got maintaining the lead. Got the status quo in the top 3, and yeah, Karma just not being able to make progress through. I think you kind of really need that DRS around here.
Yeah, on the back straight, it looked like everyone was just draining their battery, and he unfortunately just couldn't catch him.
Yeah, obviously, Tri-Kid telling us that he's running a bit more of, did he say skinnier downforce, I believe, and to help with the overtaking. And who else did we see having some? I think it was Karma was running slightly more downforce.
Yeah.
And that. Maybe that's why he's already dropped. He's on the soft tyre, but he's dropped behind by almost a second from Scotty in front. And you definitely don't want to be running too much downforce around here. So you're going to make it very difficult. I mean, It's going to keep the car a bit safer on those corners. Whoa, bit of understeer from the dirty air. Jay's coming through that section. Got to be very careful around there as the tyre goes. But yeah, look at that. You can see he's not even deploying his energy, and he's just catching up to the back of Karma nicely. Karma having to deploy. I definitely think he's running a little bit too much downforce, Karma.
Yeah, I do suspect that to be the same. So even if he just touches the wall, gets a bit of wing damage, then he loses his advantage in the rest of the circuit.
Yep, and Jay's not quite close enough through this section too. Let's have a look at a replay from that little move that we had on the restart of Alex and Chip having a fight, going side by side through turn 1, leaves enough space just about for Chip on the outside. They're still fighting down into turn 2, side by side once again. Alex going a little bit wide to try and force Chip out of position, but it doesn't work. He keeps his nose in there, and yeah, that was how Alex got through there down the straight, holding onto that position. Oh, that's a great angle through there on the front wing of the Alpha Tauri coming through the castle section. But look at these guys, all half a second between each other. Unfortunately, Trike has just dropped off the back of this group. For his sake, hopefully they'll be battling as we see a change for P2. That's an odd place to get past Alex and Ferrari. I just wonder if Ferrari went a little bit wide into that section and maybe tapped the wall or something. But I mean, he's going to get the DRS now, but so is Alex. He's going to get the DRS off his teammate in front, and I would not be surprised if there's a bit of inter-team communication here to try and stave off Ferrari Pro. And I just wanted to switch to this as Jays gets past Karma, and so does Plebs. He's got the double strip stream. It's going to be too wide. We're going to watch from behind. Jays round the outside. Plebs concedes the position, but it's definitely not over through here because they're going to have DRS coming through turn 2 into turn 3. Plebs is definitely going to be looking for a move here, and look at the speed difference he has on Jays. Gets past him, job done very easily, and yeah, look at that. Karma just cannot make anything of that, and yeah, I would definitely say that that extra downforce is not helping him.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. He was in a really good position there, even on those softs as well. Could have made even more. Could have gotten up to that podium at that point, but yeah, just a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, Karma finishing in P4 last week in Monaco, so he had a great fit. What just happened there? That's Alex. Alex has gone around at the castle section. I was just having a look at some standings, and it took my eye off for 1 second, and of course something happens just about right, but it kind of looks like he's got going very well without any damage. So that is incredibly lucky for him not to have taken damage through that section. Gets going again, and off he goes. Did you catch that by any chance?
Unfortunately, I didn't catch that, but what a result from that has done was that he held up Ferrari Pro, and now GeForce Ford has got a 2-second gap on him.
Yep, and costing again. Chip making a move down the main straight on Ferrari Pro, easily done. Scotty also all over the back here. What's going on with these front runners? They seem to just be struggling a little bit more than you would expect.
Yeah, a bit interesting. Maybe a couple of little close instances with the wall has. Oh, and a nice move up the inside by the looks. That move seems complete. Nice. Yeah, very nice move. I was going to say, maybe a couple instances close with the wall is shaking them up a little bit, and they're driving a bit more careful and not as quick. So it's kind of evened out everyone a bit.
Yeah, just well, you can be a hero, but it's very easy to go from hero to zero through some of these corners, especially the castle section, which Ferrari Pro gets a bit sideways on the exit of turn 7 there as they come through the castle section. Lovely angle there as the cars all so close together through that section. You know, those mediums can do, you know, in excess of 20 laps, but they're halfway through the stint now. On that restart, maybe they've just not quite firing up. As we were talking, that's what I was going to ask Trikid, but we didn't get around to asking him before the safety car finished, how his tyre temperatures were around here. We were talking about that, how we struggle with tyre temperatures, and it just makes it, they get cold tyres, especially in the shade on a lot of these straights. The tyres can get very cold, and it just makes it very difficult to drive around here when you've got cold tyres. A lack of grip, maybe the tyres aren't wearing, but just that lack of optimum temperature. As we see Scotty having a look at Chip, and Ferrari Pro is going to be a 3 wide moment coming through here. Do they both get through? And there's an Alpine as well. It's all happening. Ferrari Pro somehow manages to stay in front. Scotty losing out of that battle there. Plevs gaining a position. Unfortunately, I was switching the cameras a little bit too much there. I didn't quite get a true sense of what happened, but Chip is looking for a move, not going to be close enough to Ferrari Pro through here, and they're going to sit back into single file through that section.
Yeah, Scotty had lined himself up pretty well. Unfortunately, we went 3 wide, so he was on the inside, had to brake extra early. He backed out, and because of that, Plebs was on the outside, and Plebs just got to file through.
Look at these guys. Look how many cars there are packed in this gap here. P3 down to P9. I mean, you could argue P10 as well. This is going to cause, you know, it's one slip up from one of these guys. And, well, yeah, you've got to be really careful here. Lots of pressure. Very, very intense battle here. So much to lose if you make a mistake. And that is just going to increase the pressure on these boys.
But also, so much to gain here. We are fighting for that podium position. They are everyone there. So, again, it's about how much you really want to risk.
Yes, Chip, Ferrari Pro 3 seconds off the lead. I mean, it's sort of taking a little bit of pressure off Ford, and he knows that these guys are battling, and it's going to happen again, you know, part 2 in this battle royale. Either going to go 3 wide once again. Who am I going to watch? That's a real question. Look at them all over the track here. Plebs is going to be looking for a move. He somehow managed to get the inside because Chip moved to the outside to hold on to the racing line. Maybe not the smartest move there, because that allowed Plebs to sail down the inside and grab that position on him. Change for the lead again. Ferrari Pro just losing out here, losing positions. Are we going to see another move here? Plebs is holding the inside. Chip's going around the outside. He's pulled it off before, but doesn't manage to do it again. That's allowed Ferrari Pro to sneak up the inside. Not quite. Chip's going to have the inside for the next corner because left to right, and holds on to that position. And he's got to break free now. Plebs has got to break free as these guys fight it. You've got to race smartly through when you're in such a big pack here. You can't afford to go offline, as we just saw, and just lose out on the positions.
Yeah, this battle really starting to fire up a little bit. Some awesome driving there from those guys. I really hope they stay nice and bunched up and we get to see more.
Yeah, and keeping it clean as well. And Chip, 1 second. That's the 1 second. He's going to have to be so careful now. Coming on to, he's going to need, look how much battery he's got. Look at them. They've all been using their battery. Who's that? Scotty has got plenty of battery. So, but he's just got to keep it within the 1 second. He knows that. Does Chip? They're going to be coming up now to the, oh no! Alex has gone round on the outside on the gun. I wonder if that's going to be a safety car. Hopefully not. These guys still racing, but I think because of that yellow flag, that may have just caught Chip unawares, and the gap just opened up. But I think he's got DRS, so that's okay. Scotty looking around the outside of Ferrari Pro. Bit of a switchback. We love to see a switchback, and that was textbook switchback right there. Gets the inside on Ferrari Pro and gets past. I think he's going to have the DRS as well. No, he's not. Ferrari Pro got the DRS, and look at that, no energy left. He's used it all up to try and retake these positions, and it's all kicking off. Well, a bit of a concertina there through that section. Drax running right out wide onto that was too much to keep a track of almost.
Yeah, a lot going on here at the moment, but I love to see it.
Indeed, it's just allowed those front runners of this pack just to spread out a little bit, and that's going to exactly what they need. These guys squabbling amongst each other for the positions, and it's just going to allow those guys at the front, once they're out of that DRS range, although they've got no energy really to help them, but you can see the gap there at the front. 1.2 now from Chip to Plebs opening up. We're going to have keep an eye on this pack down at the bottom of the pack, because they're going to be fighting very hard for these positions.
Yeah, Scotty being able to get to the front of that pack. Oh, well, not fully to the front pack yet, but he's only 8 tenths away from Chip, so hopefully he can try and close that gap and get him with his extra ERS.
Yeah, it's who do we watch now coming down here. I'm going to try and keep an eye on these gaps. Drax is the closest one. Another gap has opened up with Ferrari Pro and Scotty. I think he's just really struggling now with the lack of energy. Drax gets a terrible camera angle. There we go. You can see 2x2 ahead there. Jay's getting past Ferrari Pro. Drax trying to get past and dives down the inside as Karma, but he's gone deep, and that's just cost him on the exit and allowed Drax to pull past. Chip also getting past Scotty. There's overtakes happening left, right, and centre here. Scotty looking back past Chip, gets past because he had the DRS. Ferrari Pro also looking to do the same, can't do it. Seal the fort. Oh, there's a huge lockup from the car in front, and Karma gets past, and they're still 2x2. That's so Aston Martin getting involved in this pack as well, and that's so much action here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Did you see that drift from Drax coming around the corner? That was impressive.
Yeah.
But it's really turned into more like 2x2. As we saw through that, it was two fighting each other and then two. And yeah, it's just has completely allowed Plebs to escape. And at the front there now, 2 seconds between him and Scotty. And there is a little bit of gap here. Drax also has dropped 2 seconds off this pack, so it's now separated into 2 packs now. We're going to try and keep an eye on both packs at the same time. Somehow, Karma on that soft tie still. He's going to be struggling now coming into the end of this stint. We saw them go 12 laps before on those soft tires. I'd imagine you'd be able to take them a few more if they knew, but definitely going to be coming into the end of that phase. Sealed the fort. 3 tenths down on Karma, potentially looking for a move. Let's just jump back to the front here, because they're going to be making a move first. Don't want to miss this. Chip pulls out and down the inside of Scotty. He's got the inside. Whoa, that other AlphaTauri getting right up behind them. Ferrari as well. I'm sorry, I'm going to watch this while this is happening. And Scotty trying to look for a little bit of a run on Chip. Moves to the inside. Yes, he is going to take that. He's got it. Yes, he pulls in front of that. Jay's also wanting to get involved, but not quite close enough. Ferrari Pro there. Did we see a move a bit further down? No, we didn't. Karma still keeping the status quo there. Obviously, as we mentioned before, him with that high downforce, struggling with the overtakes. And let's mention Trikid as well. I noticed he went in for a change of strategy, went onto the softs a bit early. I can only imagine that was because of some sort of wing damage, and he sets fastest lap there, courtesy of the fresh soft tyres.
Yeah, these boys still close together. Oh, Karma has a big hit of the wall. He's probably got wing damage from that one. Ooh, that's not what we want to see.
Yeah, which turn was that coming into? That was before the castle section, right?
Yeah. That one was turn 7. Just clipped it on the exit and lost the rear end pretty badly.
Yeah, I was busy watching Ferrari Pro get wild on the exit of turn 12, trying to get the traction down. Quite a tricky corner to do so. Yes, lots of tyre wear struggles, traction struggles coming into these guys as they're getting pretty thick into their stints. We're over half race distance now, and a lot of these medium runners, I think they're going to take them as far as they go. Maybe they'll be able to take them to the end, maybe they won't. Here's a move, Seal the fort on Karma, gets the job done very early and breezes past. Ferrari Pro looking to do the same but cannot get past the AlphaTauri. There's a battle of 4 cars happening here with the Drax just a little bit further off the back of this pack. He might get DRS, which will help him close. Seal the fort over a second off, so it's going to be a little bit struggle for him as leading that pack. Yeah, they just sort of settled in a little bit. Oops. yeah, look at that. Ferrari Pro really struggling there. Went deep into that corner, struggles to get on the power, and it's sort of cost him a lot. Again, struggling there. Drax has allowed Drax to catch right up to the back of him. And I keep wanting to play a replay from about 10 minutes ago, but it's just too much action happening here. I do not want to miss anything. Yep, through the castle section. Keep it nice and neat through here. Neat and tidy. And watch for Ari Pro. I was just, yeah, his traction has been a little bit struggling on it, but he gets through that nice and cleanly this time around. And what else have we got going on here? That's, yeah, as you just mentioned about Karma, Mighty Wombat gets past him very easily through there. I wonder if we can... His wing looks intact, though. Did you catch that hit on board?
Yeah, I did watch it. It was a pretty solid hit with the wall. He may have just been tyre contact, but he did hit it pretty hard.
Oh no, that's Tri-Kid with our first penalty of the day. Over half race distance, so good job on everyone there. CBF Chip making a move on Scotty. Down to turn 1, gets the job done. Scotty is definitely not going to let this go. Who have we got behind here? Ferrari Pro also having a look. Karma into the pit lane, and maybe you can just confirm that wing change for us 10. And as I'll follow this battle through turn 2 and turn 3.
Yep, there is a wing change there for Karma, so definitely had damage.
Well, that's going to put him into play with Tri-Kid, who's going to be coming up on him in a second. That'll have someone... Whoa! Chip getting very wide on the exit at turn 3. That's someone for Tri-Kid to play with and have a little batter down there. Is he going to come in front? It's going to be very close. Yes, he does get in front, just courtesy of that wing change from Karma.
Karma going on to another pair of softs, so a bit interesting there. Wondering... assume that he thinks he might be able to take it to the end, or maybe there's going to be another safety car, you reckon?
Penalties starting to come in now. Ferrari Pro picking one up too. Only 2 drivers with penalties so far. I don't know, do you really think the softs can go to the end from here? Whoa, Ferrari Pro's gone round! Ferrari Pro's gone round on that exit there, and oh, that is a disaster. I was just, I was saying earlier, struggling with that traction. And on that corner, that very corner I was talking about, and we'd seen him go sideways a little bit coming out of there, and the pressure of the battle and maybe picking up that penalty, yeah, he's gone round on the exit of turn 12, and that's allowed the Alpha Tauris to get up into P4 and P5. One less car in this battle. Big shame for Ferrari Pro. I don't think he took any damage from that.
Yeah, the Ferrari boys seeming to not have a great race. Had an awesome quali. Oof. Sorry, Mighty Wombat making a move up the inside there with the DRS. Pretty easy move completed. As I was saying, the Ferrari boys had a great quali. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be having as great a race.
Yeah, just not converting it into race pace around this Baku circuit. It's very tricky. Very tricky. You just snatch the inside going into one of these braking zones, and you're playing very dangerously close to those walls. Easy to make mistakes, just like Monaco, but I'd say it's it's slightly different style to Monaco last week. Let's just mention our DNFs so far. 2 PRL boys and 2 GeForce boys. Alex and Zach from GeForce. Oh, that's a move. Oh, that's onto the wall goes Karma. Probably not happy with that move from Tri-Kid there. They did seem like they were side by side. Unfortunately, did not catch that. But he's going very slowly. I wonder if he's just very frustrated, or he actually took some more damage. And he's going to be pretty annoyed if he's taken damage from that, having just picked to change a wing. Just no visual damage, but... that doesn't mean to say there isn't any on that car, but you just caught the end of that little tussle coming into turn 3. Yeah, I can't really comment too much on that, as I didn't see it fully. I'm sure we'll be tuning in with Tri-Kid later to hear what happened.
Yeah, I didn't get to see as much either, but just a bit unfortunate there. Yeah, I'd assume Karma would have damage.
Yeah, he's dropped off another couple of seconds off the back of that Williams, so I would assume also. Yeah, the AlphaTauris, look at them go, P4, P5, penalty free in the moment on the fresher medium tyres with these various strategies around the track. They're looking pretty decent around here. Both Aston Martins also in the race in the points. Of course, Race Spec scoring all the way down to P15, meaning all the drivers will be getting points today if they can keep it on the track. And yeah, Karma in the pits there.
Yeah, front wing change and onto another fresh pair of softs.
Let's have a look at what kind of replay we have got collected. I think it's the Ferrari replay I've got here, and I didn't catch it, but you can just see him going on that curb round, and did not touch the wall there, luckily for him, and he managed to keep it going. But yeah, it's a tricky acceleration point, is that, and especially depending on the setup you're choosing to run with a lower downforce setup, and in combination with those potential low temperature tires and the wear, it just makes it tricky on that outside curb.
Yeah, I must admit I've done that one a couple times myself.
Yep. I was just also going to mention, as the gaps start opening up, hopefully these AlphaTauri boys are chatting together, because they're going to want to, if they can work together to close the gap on the car and front chip on those slightly older medium tyres, you know, they got a very good potential finish in this race.
Yeah, and I do still suspect that there will be a pit stop for most drivers, as Ferrari Pro comes in for, I assume, his final pit stop.
Yeah, he started on those soft tyres, so you'd imagine... Oh, I was about to say, you'd imagine he'd be putting on mediums, but no, he's putting on the soft tyres. 15 or so laps? You could probably take the softs to the end. Maybe a small stretch, but I would imagine you'd be able to take them. He comes out behind Tri-Kid, who's on those 7 lap old soft tyres. I think he's going to struggle to take them to the end, but Ferrari Pro might have a bit of an easier time. And obviously, a whole pit stop off the group in front. Not to say things cannot change, and as we've seen time and time again in this endurance series, as the fatigue creeps in, that's very close to the wall, Ferrari. The fatigue creeps in around this track. You know, they've been going for a long time now, so fatigue starts to creep in. Mistakes come into play, and there's no margin for error around this Baku circuit. And as we've seen already from the 4 drivers, definitely increasing chances of safety cars in this end, and that could bring all these drivers back into play. So it's certainly all still to play for.
Yeah, I would suspect that we might see some other people start to pit for those softs, because we do know they can go 14 laps. CBF Chip took them his softs to 14 laps in his first stint, so we might see some other boys jump onto the softs.
Position change for the AlphaTauris. Position change, that's interesting. I wonder if that was premeditated or not. 1.7 only off Chip, so they've got pace. You know, they were 5 seconds off a couple of laps ago, and now there's quite a few battles opening up, and this is Ferrari Pro getting past Tri-Kid on the straight. Job done fairly easily there. And Wombat also looking at Drax and the AlphaTauris having position change. Something I was just about to point out was our leaders have closed up at the front there. Plevs has closed up to Ford, and that is going to make things interesting at the front.
Yeah, hopefully we get a nice battle for this podium for the win.
Yes, definitely. Nothing against Ford, but I'm glad he was not able to walk away with it, just keeping it entertained for us and for you guys at home. And but that gap has just opened up a little bit coming around the final sector, because Plebs was just managed to get Pippin into DRS range. Tri-Kid hasn't been able to respond to Ferrari Pro this lap, already dropping 2 seconds off. I think that's just due to that fresh soft tyre. And but Mighty Wombat tucked in behind Drax, potentially looking for a move now on the DRS straight, and let's see if he goes for the move straight away. I'd be tempted to just wait for that second DRS if you can tuck it in nice and close, but he's far too close. He's going to be making a move straight away around the outside. Drax looking to the defend on the inside and gets the job done before the turn 1. AlphaTauri is keeping status quo, so I do wonder if there was maybe some sort of team orders happening there. Jay's thinking that he's a little bit quicker. Scotty relinquishing the position and see if they can hunt down Chip in front, because they have brought the gap down from that 5-second gap earlier.
Yeah, love to see a bit of a teamwork happening, and then even better for us in the comp box, hopefully we get a more intense battle with an extra car in there.
Try get in for a potentially slightly earlier pit stop, but I guess there's no point wasting time on slightly worn softs when you've only got a few, just over 10. Oh, he's got wing damage as well. Maybe that spurred on that pit stop. That is really unfortunate for him, having that wind change. And he goes back onto fresh softs. He'll be going to the end on those. He'll be on a bit of a charge. I'm sure he'll be looking at trying to grab that fastest lap too for an extra point. They come out of the pits very close together, Trikid and Karma. This battle is going to resume again. I wonder if Karma's wanting to get a bit of his own, to finish off this move that he tried to pull off. Both those guys very, very low on the energy. And Karma tucks in behind Trikid. Karma on 2-lap old medium tyres. It's not going to impact too much on pace difference. So I'm sure we'll see this battle continue throughout the lap. Yeah, I think they're going to struggle. Whoa! As Trikey gets huge sideways moment coming out of turn. That was turn 6, sorry. Yes, there, turn 6. Just really struggling to get on that power a bit. And that has allowed Trikid just to open up that 1-second gap, vitally getting him out of the DRS. The 1-second DRS, but he's just got to keep that now for the rest of the lap, as the detection zone is a lot later. But yeah, Karma just dropping off another 10th there, so he's got it all to do in this last sector to just jump back into the point. And yeah, there's 3 battles going on here, one for P1, one for P4, and one for P6. These cars in sort of little duos throughout this section.
Yeah, those soft tyres seeming to be much quicker, but less consistent. I think I've noticed mostly the soft runners have been making a little bit more mistakes.
Indeed, yeah. And oh, that's Karma picking up a 3-second penalty. That'll be music to Trikid's ears, because currently that is who he's battling on track, and that's going to cancel out his penalty that he had. I'll just double check that yeah, they both got 3 seconds, so that's lucky for him. And I'm just going to hand you over Tent for a second. I'll be back in a moment.
Yep. Not many battles going on. We do have a battle between Drax and Mighty Wombat. We could see a potential change between these two here on the straight, with Drax having 41% ERS, so he has got a lot of ERS to use. He's not using any of it though. Just a nice clean move down the inside here. The move should be complete by the corner, which it is. Will we see a rebuttal from Mighty Wombat here? Hopefully we do, but he doesn't really have the ERS to be able to make a return move. And unfortunately it looks like Drax could push right here, like push now, and create a 1-second gap and make sure that Mighty Wombat loses that DRS. Plebs and Ford are still together. They're sitting at about 5/10. They've been hovering there for a little bit, which is alright, and Scotty and Jays are still within their second, so maybe this is a bit more of a confirm for them working together. As I say that, of course, the second gap disappears, but if it drops back down into a second, we could potentially reveal that they are working together. But yeah, the gap's really opening up as Drax does get that 1-second gap to Mighty Wombat, using not that much ERS by the looks. He's still sitting pretty high. All the gaps really opening up though. Unfortunately for us in the comp box, there's not going to be too many battles left. Ferrari Pro picking up a 3-second penalty. I believe that's his second 3-second penalty. So he's sitting at 6 seconds, where the penalties at the moment.
And I'm back just in time for this spicy battle for the lead. Good job there, Tent. I got back a little bit early, but I was enjoying listening to your little commentary there. Yeah, look, this is closed down for the lead here. This is a bit of exciting. I know you were saying the gaps have opened up, yeah, and now with less than 10 laps to go, I was kind of thinking, almost thinking, it'd be great for a safety car to spice this up a little bit, but I'm sure some of the boys would not want that. But at least we have an absolute amazing battle for the lead going on here. Do you reckon those AlphaTauri boys are holding station, or are they battling away?
I think they're holding station. I think they are working together, because Scotty did lose that second gap, but it seems that he got it before the main straight again. So it almost looks like Jay's lifted a little, gave him that DRS, so they can continue to work together.
Yeah, they lost out a little bit on, lost out a little bit of time onto Chip. They were at one point sub 2 seconds, but it seems to be creeping back up to the second marker as Bags is has just come in to the pit lane for a fresh set of medium tyres. Plebs is still in the DRS range of Ford. Just take a quick look at that. It's about similar, surprisingly. You would have thought that Plebs would have saved up a little bit more, but obviously, he's just struggling a little bit to just keep up with the pace of Ford at the minute. But I think thanks to that aid of that DRS, it sort of helped him a little bit, just close that gap. He gets down to that 2/3/10 mark, and we'll see if he can. Scotty's in the pits. Try kid. Oh no, there's a DNF. He's got in the castle section. So that's a safety car which has been triggered. Is that good or bad timing for Scotty? He's changed onto the soft tyre. I'd hesitate to think that was not great. It depends how the delta plays out for Scotty with that quick change. Do you think that wasn't premeditated, was it? I don't think no way he could have seen that at that time. I think he came in just before, gets past the safety car. I wonder if he's going to gain a little position from that perfect timing. And while we've got him hot and the emotions are there, I'm going to get Trikid into the chat again. Trikid, what happened?
I've just actually collected some wing damage on the turn before the castle section as such, and just in a bit of wide, went a little bit wide, locked the front right, and then bang, that was it, race over.
Oh, that is such a shame with only less than 10 laps to go and a safety. Oh, I mean, you triggered the safety car, but so close yet so far away.
Yeah, I think I had karma there as well. I'm pending possibly a post-race review of that incident. But, look, it's unfortunate. I actually did probably reasonably well to recover what was a pretty bad race. So I think it's safe to say the curse is real.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
No.
Two questions. When I was going to ask you about tyre temperatures, how were your tyre temperatures on the
pretty poor, to be honest. And maybe that was just my driving style around this track. The rears were hot the whole race.
Okay.
So that might have just been me, I think. And yeah, what was the other question?
The other question was, talk us through that incident with Karma. We didn't quite get a good view of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I've moved left down the straight. He's in the slipstream with DRS. I was basically a sitting duck, but he didn't seem to really get as far up as he wanted. And then we've gone side by side. I've had a slight nose overlap. I got a little bit of oversteer going through the corner, and he's tried to hang it out wide, and his wheels have just been squeezed into the wall. So similar incident to last week. I mean, it's just unfortunate. Sorry to Karma if he's listening. My bad. But yeah, I think he's picked up some wing damage from that as well. So that's
I believe so. So good sport anyway. I'm sure the stewards will make a decision and review that if necessary. But yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately not a great race for you today. So commiserations for that.
No worries.
I'm sure you would have loved to be involved in this last dash lap sprint that we have so often in this tier.
Yeah, this would have been great if I could have got up behind the safety car, but only reason it came out was because of me. So, yeah.
Oh well, on to the next one, I guess. Well, thanks anyway for joining us in the com box this week. It was a pleasure to have you and hearing all about you. And yes, so on to next time, guys. I guess.
I'll be back on track next week, so I'll see you then.
So we'll see you then. Thanks once again.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was Trikid, who was our interviewee for this week, and unfortunately DNF'd in the closing stages of this race, pulling out a safety car, and that's unfortunate for him, but also thanks to him because he's really made the end of this race super exciting for us in the com box.
Yeah. Now, I do want to mention Scotty. He did come into the pitch just before that safety car, so we were a bit intrigued on whether he's lost out or gained, but it seemed that it was just completely neutral. He hasn't gained any positions, hasn't lost any. He's in the exact same spot.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing actually. I was watching. I'd left it to watch whilst we were chatting with Trikid, and he came out just in front and just behind of Jays and Drax. So that worked out well. I guess it could have been worse. It certainly, didn't improve, but I guess it worked out perfectly for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's just run you through the current state of this race. We've lost PRL Saint and PRL Noah both early on, then also Zach and Alex losing those guys, and then just now Trikid losing him. Real unfortunate for him, pulling out a late race safety car, and that's going to create a final dash sprint, if you will, to the end of this race. All the guys pitting onto fresh soft tires. Karma is at the minute he's at the back of the pack. They're catching up, and unfortunately for Bags in the Aston Martin, he's a lap down still from that previous safety car, so that's not going to help him in any way. So he's going to be finishing in P11. Really, I can't see a way out for him, but I mean, it's still good points, still good points for the team, for Aston Martin. I might just bring up the points very quickly for you guys, as we haven't seen them. Aston Martin currently sitting in P3 in the constructors with 105 points. That's currently with Ferrari's predicaments. I think that'll keep them there. Mercedes and Alpine, very, very close battle, and you can see Ford and Plevs also having a close battle in the Drivers' Championship, and very close on track as well here, so it's going to be a very interesting battle at the end there. Great. If they can hold on to it, it'll be a great finish for AlphaTauri there with P4 and P5.
Yeah, for sure. Safety car should be in this lap, I believe, so we're keen to get underway.
Yep. Yeah, just making sure they've all got temperature. It was interesting to hear that Trikid had hot tyre temperatures, not cold ones, in the rears.
Yeah, hot
Safety
rears.
car. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a lot of stop-starts on the rears, so the rears wear very heavily around here, rear limited, so maybe he's just lighting them up on the exits, I would have thought.
Yeah, I wonder if other drivers are having the same issue, because I have seen a lot of rear sliding in this race.
Indeed. I usually get that from lack of temperature rather than over temperature. So these guys are heading now down the main straight, getting a little bit of temperature into those tyres. And when will Ford go again? He had a decent restart last time. Plebs right up on the back of him, just how Ferrari Pro. I might actually ride on board from slightly further back just to see how these two go. Ford going to be leaving it right till the last second by the looks of it, going even later than before. When is he going to go? Right then, that's when he's going to go. Look at the guys behind, they're all spread out, and there's already position changes. I'm going to jump right to the back here, and yeah, position changes coming down into the first corner, and Scotty, what is happening here? He is struggling hard down the inside, round the outside. They're sailing past him. Scotty having a nightmare of a start. I wonder if that's going to leave him exposed coming through turn 3. The rest of them keeping status quo up front. Can he try and... Oh no! Oh, Mighty Wombat has gone so wide through there, and oh, that Oh, that's a disaster. He's gone down that runoff road. I've never seen anybody down there. As we see a position change down at the front of the pack there. Plebs losing out to CBF. Chip has got past him. We missed out, unfortunately. We were watching the Aston Martin. Oh, that's been a disastrous restart for them. Now at the back of the pack, and that has allowed Ford to get that gap up to 1.4 seconds and escape away.
Yeah, mighty Wombat diving into that runoff area there, as he was not going to make that corner. He was going straight towards that wall and would have probably died.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. You don't often see that, do you? People diving down that runoff area, and good reactions from him to just bail out the last second instead of hitting that wall. As we see drivers do that, yeah, good job from him there, keeping it going. I mean, that's a huge disappointment for him, but at least he hasn't DNF'd and he's still in this race and will still pick up some points. But that's going to help out the Ferraris and the constructors. Their Plebs getting past Chip on the run down into turn 1. None of the drivers using energy, interestingly, choosing to sort of save them. And there's Drax coming around the outside. It's going to be side by side. Jays, what's happening? The AlphaTauri's not having a good restart here. Going to be side by side again, leaving each other lots of racing space there. And off they go with the energy. Drax heading down here, tucks into the slipstream. Jays pulls out to the inside. We're watching on board from Scotty. Car behind, and oh, look at these guys two side by side. That's allowing Scotty to catch up. Wombat into the pit lane. Maybe he's taken some damage from that earlier moment.
Yeah, can confirm Wombat getting a front wing change from when he dove into that runoff area. Must have cut the wall.
It's allowed Ferrari Pro to catch up back in here as well, but unfortunately he's got that penalty that's really going to cost him unless he can somehow make his way through this pack pretty quickly. And yeah, that little fight with Chip and Plebs has allowed Ford to pull away once again. And that is really unfortunate for Plebs. I'm sure he's getting rather annoyed that he's having to battle away. And let's, whilst we got a... I was going to say, whilst we had a little lull there, but we're not having a lull because Ferrari Pro is right at the back of Silderfort, and I'm sure he's going to be looking to make a move. It's been very hard on his energy as Ferrari Pro throughout this race, down to already 40%. The other drivers there having plenty, and I'm sure that will make it difficult for him to overtake. And Karma behind this pack as well, but we've seen with his higher downforce, it's just really struggling for him to get any moves done. And as Jay's getting, Scotty getting past Jay's down the main straight. I wonder if that Red Bull of Silderfort is going to be close. Not quite. It's Ford there showing he has the pace, setting fastest lap of this Grand Prix, this late stage.
Yeah, I would like to mention something that I found a bit interesting. The drivers of Jay, Scotty and Drax were 3 wide before green flags had even been shown there at that safety car restart.
Yeah, I thought I saw that in the background there. I looked behind and they're all spread out all over the track, and I was kind of wondering what's happening back there.
Yeah, and then chaos just ensued from that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're all going, so that's great to see after that. Somehow managed to keep it together. And let's see if I caught that moment on replay as we just have a... Yes, we're looking for Wombat here. Look at Wombat just missing the corner, darting down the inside there to the escape road. Lucky to get away with that. You can see him there facing the wrong way, getting out of that escape road there. And back to the on-track action. Ferrari, but the sort of gaps have opened up a little bit in this race, but DRS is enabled now, so yeah, those guys that have opened up the gaps really doing good work there to prevent further overtakes from happening upon themselves. This battle for P5 is certainly not over, with the AlphaTauri of Scotty currently leading the pack. Silderfort also involved, and Ferrari Pro and Karma rounding off the group. The 2 Aston Martins unfortunately way out behind and not going to be unfortunately making an impact on this. As you can see there, Silderfort getting a decent run on the AlphaTauri, but backs out of it and tucks back in behind him into turn 1. But there's another DRS zone here, so it's still all to play for. Plebs slowly bringing that gap down to Ford up front, but I think Ford's controlling it pretty nicely out in front there. These two boys, once again, fighting side by side. And Drax gets through that into P3 ahead of Chip. Chip seems to be just going backwards a little bit at this stage. Not ideal for him. Hopefully he hasn't got any damage or anything, but he's in a good position at the moment. This will be his best finish if he can hold on to this.
Yes, as he said, best finish there for Drax, sitting very pretty at the moment in P3. A really good result at the end of the day.
Yeah, look at these guys. Once again, this pack is just so close. Again, they're still the fort running right up the behind the AlphaTauri. And the AlphaTauri boys definitely not going to be wanting fighting amongst themselves at this stage, because there's a lot to lose for them. They've already lost a few positions from that restart, and they definitely want to hold on to this great finish for them. Coming on now down the straight, and they'll be starting the penultimate lap for Ford in just a few moments. Players still bringing that gap down is interesting to see. Maybe it's not all over at the front. Just keep half an eye on that, as Chip's having a look back at Drax. He's not managed to pull away. He's still within that second gap, and yeah, look at that Chip down the inside. And can he get clear? He can get clear down into turn 1, but it's not here that they're going to be looking to. Wow, Drax is having a look, but backs out of it into turn 2. It's going to be down here to turn 3 with the DRS. Don't forget the AlphaTauri boys in the background there. And Drax getting a good move nice and early. We've seen Chip try and hold it around the outside. Can he do the same here? He's definitely trying. He's definitely trying, and just gets squeezed. Did he ghost there for a second, it looked like? But he gets squeezed out, unfortunately. And Drax gets back through into P3.
Yeah, it looks like he lagged a little there and ghosted. Luckily, no incident come out of that.
Yeah, we did see Chip lagging a little bit earlier as well, so greatest of connections, but seems to be just about okay. And yeah, this battles I think is just going to continue right to the end of this race, as Karma gets past Ferrari. Oh no, Ferrari's gone round in the background there. Ferrari's gone round in that same place as before, and I would not surprise if he's taken some sort of damage. He definitely seems stuck into that wall this time round. That's an absolute disaster for him.
He has fully lost his front wing there.
That is definitely, yeah, I think it'll be nip and tuck whether he manages to hold on to P9 after the pit stop. As Wombat's 30 seconds off, he's got to have a front wing change. He's going to be going slow. Wombat's going to be on a bit of a charge, and I'm sure that'll encourage him to try and nab that P9 position. Plus, Ferrari has that penalty as well that could come into play. What a big slide from Silderfork coming through turn 1 there. Managed to hold on to that. Impressive job by him. Chip still looking at Drax in front. This battle's going to continue now. He's got a good run. He's got closer from that pit straight, but yeah, not quite close enough. I think he gave him a little bit of a tap there and sent him a little bit wide. But they keep the positions through this section of the track. Ferrari Pro in the pits there. Let's have a look at that replay, see if we can see what happened to Ferrari Pro in the background there. You can see he's already had the incident and turned around, and he's in the wall there, unfortunately, just getting it turned around. So unfortunately we didn't quite catch that. But there you go, see, Mighty Wombat pulled ahead of Ferrari Pro. He's only 2 seconds behind his Ferrari Pro, but he's got 1 lap to try and retake that, and I can't see that happening in 1 lap. But look at these boys. Drax, oh no, CBF Chip has gone a little bit wide. I think he lagged out there in turn 12. He was right at the back of Drax, and it's going to be a run down to the line, but I think that little mistake there has cost Chip a potential podium, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Very unfortunate for him there, but we never know. On ERS is pretty high for both the boys, so it will be very difficult for him to do it.
Let's jump across here. Ford is going to come across the line 2 seconds ahead of Plebs, who was not able to close that gap. Ford drops down and drops across the line, into P1, finishing this race. Plebs in P2. Drax is going to be in P3, I think, because Chip, and I really think that mistake cost Chip and these guys all. Wow, Scotty and Jay so close coming across the line. They're less than a 10th. AlphaTauri's 5th and 6th. Good job from them. And Karma also in P8. They're finishing Mighty Wombat, luckily for him, Ferrari had that mistake, and that's promoted him up to P9, so that's good news for him, but unfortunately from his mistake earlier, that dropped him down into that lower position, and I think that also bags their finishing Ferrari, giving up. Oh, what a terrible race for him, really unfortunate, losing it twice on the exit at turn 12, and yeah, what could have been for the Ferrari boys today. That's what I think the story. And also Ford, the chat at the start is yikes, he was worried after that qualifying session, but just one too many mistakes from the other guys, just almost gifting him, I think, certainly helping him in his charge back up to P1, and Plev's just not quite having enough pace, I think, compared to Ford today.
Yeah, well, I think that confirms that you was sandbagging in quali. Made sure to take those off for the race.
yes, as he was saying, taking those sandbags off. I'm sure we'll find them somewhere on the side of the track there. The podium boys, GeForce Ford, Plevs, and Drax there. Is I think a nice podium there for the Williams car. Unfortunate for our interviewee of the week, Trikid, in the other Williams having that DNF causing that late safety car. But that, I guess, allowed his teammate to capitalise and grab that podium.
Yeah, maybe a bit of team orders there.
And then, great finish for Chip there in the Red Bull. He was reserving today, taking place for CBF Rude, so Rude will be happy with that finish for the Red Bull. Great points finish for the Alpha Tauris, 5th and 6th, Silderfort and P7, Karma P8 in the McLaren, not too bad of a showing for him, P9 Mighty Wombat, P10 for Ferrari Pro, rounding off the top 10, and Drax in the chat, very happy with that podium. Trikid, these are our DNFers for today. Trikid, unfortunately, GeForce Alex, GeForce Zach, PRL Noah, and PRL Saint today of the 16 drivers. And yes, I mean, plenty of excitement there at the start. The end, couple of safety cars. Maybe not most exciting race in the middle, but still plenty of on-track entertainment for you guys.
Yeah, it just kept coming, didn't it?
Yeah, bit of an exciting race in Azerbaijan. And next week we are heading off to France. Now, some people kind of hate on that track a little bit, but I think it provides great league racing entertainment. So I'm actually keen for that.
Yeah, same here. Bit keen. I've had a couple good moments with France recently, so I'm keen for France as well.
Well, I think that wraps up us here at Endurance. Congratulations to our podium contenders, and thanks to Trikid again once again. No team orders, says Drax. No team orders. Thanks again once again, Trikid, for jumping in, and of course, thank you to you, Mr. Tent-Sandles, for once again joining me in the com box and being an absolute legend co-com.
Thank you for having me. It's always great to be here. Always great fun.